Cole. I don't look at him the same. He ain't come outside. Sometimes you tell me, Joe, you want the 100 million, this, that, you got to say the truth. I don't look at him the same. The fucking sword is dull. I don't care what he spit. Because I've been listening to him spitting. I always said he's one of the greatest. And all that is irrelevant to me when you talking all that gangster shit and they call you to the yard and you don't step outside. I can't look at you. That's like you seeing the dude who they always told you, and you always thought he was tough. And you see some other kingpin nigga, some smack his cheek off and the nigga, my bad, and walk off. I'm keeping it a buck with you. That's how I look at this shit.
The music, man. The music is great.
I don't give a fuck if you lose. I never forget Everlast and Eminem. Everlast definitely knew he couldn't beat Eminem, but he came outside to the yard. He came outside. And so that's just how I look at it. Big up J.Cole, the whole crew, North Carolina and all that, but he caught stage fright. Supposed to come outside, man. He did.
He did, man.
All right.
He bowed out gracefully, but that don't never mean he wasn't. I mean, where we come from, all call-outs.
What they say in the Game of Thrones, what they say, the North never forgets. Remember when the Starks come? They go, the North never forgets. Yeah, you're not waiting 6 months to let the smoke clear to come back outside and talk legendary and all that. Like, it's like the North never forgets.
Into that. He just ended what he into.
All right.
Coming
shit, from you.
Shit is crazy.
You go to war. Jadakiss go to war. Jadakiss go to war. The Locks go to war. I'm a J. Cole fan. I'm just telling you they don't hit me as tough. You know what I'm saying? If Fat Joe talking all that Fat Joe the gangster, there's a video of me getting my face smacked off. You ain't gonna hear Flo Joe the same. You gonna be like, man, and that was your face smacked off in public. Was like, yo, and he said, no, I rescind it. I'm coming back. No, I didn't mean it. You know when you ride and bike and then you do the pedal backwards, the shit pedals backwards?
Roll back.
That's what he did. He rolled back, brother. You know when the fucking 10-speed be going tick, 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 tick? Yo, you know when you hear this shit? No, you hear the tick, tick? The tick, 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 tick. You know when your shit go back?
Yeah, but when you roll that shit back with the metal pedals and that scrape up your shins.
Kill you.
Oof.
All right, let's talk about Jalen Brunson.
What about Jalen Brunson?
All right, man, one of those days in Detroit, Michigan where it's super cold and it's also snowing. But hey, man, let's talk about what Fat Joe had to say. I had a couple people send me this, saying that, you know, Fat Joe, you'll see in the beginning, says he doesn't look at J. Cole the same. After J. Cole bowed out of the battle with Kendrick Lamar. To me, it's no biggie to me, but I get it as a lot of people that was around hip hop in the beginning. You know, one of the first forms of hip hop, you know, besides the DJ was actually battle rap. Like, you had to know how to battle rap. You know, you had to know how to freestyle. I remember LL said he used to read like the dictionary to really expand his lyricism. You know, and obviously the pen has been killed off from hip hop. It ain't too many good pens. And then when you get a guy that got a pen like a Nas or a Kendrick, then, you know, you got people saying, well, I want to hear them big words, or, you know, anything, you know, and anything in the black community that is positive, our biggest, our brightest, we label them sellouts. We deduct them as, you know, as corny and lame. The community is so backwards. But once again, the black community is a matriarchy, and the women move the community. If the women didn't like dudes going both ways, if they didn't like dudes wearing purses, if they didn't like dudes wearing tight ass skinny jeans and acting feminine and being bums, dudes wouldn't be bums. Women like that shit. Let's call it what it is. Women like that shit. So, you know, but when you're an intellectual in the black community, you know, like Dr. Ben Carson, or, you know, maybe even one of the intellectual rappers like Nas or Kendrick, you know, even with, you know, a nice hybrid version of, hood in you, a lot of people see that as corny. But Fat Joe basically saying him not battling and backing out the Kendrick Lamar beef. Basically, he can't really look at him as the same as one of the greatest of all time. All right. And I see where he's coming from, and I also see where J.Cole coming from. He basically allowed Drake to manipulate him to go against his homie. This is a dude that, jumped in it between Kendrick and Puff. He jumped in it and defended Kendrick. So, in a time when we talk about people, lacking accountability, I feel like J. Cole took accountability, but a lot of things that's within the black culture, the hip hop culture, a lot of that shit run parallel with ignorancy. See, forgiveness, healing, making amends between rap beefs like, MC8 and DJ Quick and, people burying hatchets, Dr. Dre and Snoop. All that type of stuff is seen as weak, soft. Being meek is seen as, can be seen as a mark of weakness. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's kind of really hard to live by the hip hop code of the black culture in America. It's hard to live by that because it's so ignorant. If you follow the hip hop code, your life is going to be in shambles. You're going to be old ass nigga trying to wear Mary jeans and trying to put a purse and fanny pack on, trying to paint your nails to try to fit in, not stand out to fit in. So to be honest with you, I kind of side with J. Cole on this. Hey, I try to let this man I almost let this man manipulate me into doing this dirty work. And he was like, you know what, I was wrong, Kendrick. And Kendrick knew he was wrong because Kendrick could have said, he also could have looked at Kendrick. Kendrick should have bombed on that nigga regardless. But J. Cole also said, hey, man, take your shot, bro. Take your shot. And Kendrick didn't take his shot, which could have spawned the beef. At the end of the day, their friendship was deeper than the beef. Drake's manipulation tactics was peeped. He said, damn, I tried to let Drake go against my homeboy. And I'm pretty sure, J. Cole is like, between Kendrick, it's just preference, between me, Kendrick, and Drake. And really, it ain't really no comparison. Drake ain't a rapper. Drake ain't even in the same category, no. He's a pop star. He's a pop rapper. What did Wiz Khalifa say on, what a mixtape that was? Is that Taylor Allardyce after the interlude after Never Been? I think it might have been the original or the remake. He said, what you say about people saying you a pop rapper? He said, yeah, I'm a pop rapper. I pop up and make 100 M's or whatever. Yeah, Drake's a pop rapper. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But he ain't in the same category as, Kendrick. He ain't in the same category as J. Cole or a guy like Ice Cube or LL or Jay-Z or Nas. He ain't in that category. But I see where Fat Joe coming from. Fat Joe is coming to the foundation of hip hop as one of the guys that understands, the history of hip hop and how it should go and how it should be. You know what I'm saying? So I get where he coming from. My thing where I'm not excited to hear, J. Cole album, The Fall Off, his shit been sounding the same, man. His sound hasn't changed, respectfully. His sound hasn't changed. Like, it's always these soulful beats, with hard lyrics, but it's just, all the shit just sound the same. All the shit just sound the same. Like, I like to hear him on some more up-tempo raps. It's kind of, for me, like with Drake, where I would like to hear Drake just rap for an album, even if it's for 8 to 10 songs, where Drake just spitting to make a real, true rap album. But he'll never do that because he doesn't want to compromise, being a pop star and the money that come with it. He doesn't want to compromise that. It's kind of like Tyler Perry kind of making that movie with like Idris Elba and the one about the pilots. Ain't nobody care. His core fan base didn't want to hear no positive shit. They didn't. They wanted that, stressed out, single black woman, black man, is the the dark black man is evil, the light skin or the white man is the hero. That's what they wanted to hear. That's what they wanted to hear. That's what they wanted to hear. But to me, it ain't no big deal. I'm just hopefully he changed his production up, bro. And he do something different with this album. Be more up tempo. Switch up the instrumental, switch up the flow a little bit. But for the most part, he kind of been in this sunken place with his music. Like just in a place where it's just like all the like Fab would do some shit like the soul tapes, and then he'd mix it up and do, funeral Fab, and he'll switch it up, and like J.Cole has just been at that same little soulful R&B beat rapping. Like, all right, nigga, that old depressing ass shit he been rapping. Like, nigga, do something more colorful. Do something more colorful. See, Southern niggas, they back in the day, they used to talk about, we really don't care about lyrics. I just think it really was people that didn't really understand the slang. I think they were lyrical. It's just their slang was different. You went through that with the West Coast, and but in addition to that, now all of a sudden you get a lyrical guy like J. Cole, and I was tired of the same shit, man. Switch it up. Him not engaging with Kendrick, I totally understand why would people feel both ways about it. Because when friends battle, it brings the best out of them, and that would have been the number 1 and 2 rapper of this generation going at it. But I also understand, me admitting that, what, I did some hoe ass nigga shit. I gotta be accountable for the whole shit that I did. That's something that the black community don't know shit about. So when you accountable and you positive and you on the right path, and you able to turn the other cheek, or you able to walk away and be the bigger man, the black community don't rock with shit like that. So I'm talking about really the ignorant hip hop hood rap community. That matriarchy don't really rock with shit like that. Nah, they don't rock with shit like that. They want that ignorant shit, like Jay-Z rap. They want ignorant shit. They want foul, gutter shit. That's what I say, man. If you're gonna be on the right path, as a free, straight thinking black man, or heterosexual black woman, that's gonna be, it's hard, that's gonna be positive and do the right thing. It's hard to be fucking with the majority of the black community that's stuck in that sucking place. It's hard because they don't really understand. They don't understand how the world really operates. And that's why I tell people all the time, and what's so funny, kind of side note, you ever talk business with black people or talk finances and all, they don't want to talk about it. They don't, that's one of the reasons why you can't get money with black people for real. Especially when it's legit. They all for illegal money. But if you talk finances or starting a business with black people, bro, and one of the things one of my homeboys, I ain't spoke to him under Adonis in a minute, he told me was, you can't start a black community. You can't start, when you start a business, people should know your business is a black business. And I really thought about what he said, and he didn't even have to explain it to me. It made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense. It shouldn't be. These are the same people that want to come in and want a discount, want to come in and want something for free, think because they know it's a fact. Don't want to build, don't want to invest. But once you get your shit up and running, everybody want a handout. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's hard to really it's rather hard to operate in the, in that black community like that with people that think it's hard to operate because they don't see things as sensible. Everything they see is backwards because it's a matriarchy. Women think and do shit backwards. Tell me I'm lying. You know, just think about it. And they'll tell you. They make the good guy that's gonna provide and sacrifice for them wait for the box. They give it and be free, and give the bad guy, the guy that they don't give a fuck about, they give him everything. Threesomes, from the Bizak and all that. But they don't, you know what I'm saying? They want to be free and conservative with you and not be freaky with you. And not do a threesome with you. They backwards. They put the vagina before they put what they really worth. You feel me? They put the vagina. They lead with their vagina. They lead with their vagina. The biggest shit. That's like, you know, coming out in Uno or something and playing your strongest card. But that's all I had to say. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Hit the link tree on the Patreon. Find me everywhere. Peace.